Okay, so hopefully, um, hopefully you remember the way to find the roots or find the zeros. Roots and zeros are the same thing. So finding the zeros of a function or finding the roots of a quadratic function. To do that, you need to actually make f of x equal to 0 because it's where the line touches the x-axis. So that's when y equals 0. So then after we do that, we just solve the equation. So we want to write this as 0 equals x squared minus 5x plus 4. And then the way to solve this equation is just to go ahead and factor it. So to factor it, of course, we look for the greatest common factor first. In this case, it's 1, so we can move on. Or factor the right-hand side, rather. And then we'll go ahead and make a little box. So we have x squared in the top right, 4 in the bottom, I'm sorry, x squared in the top left, 4 in the bottom right. Then to find out what values are going to add to or combine to negative 5, we want to multiply x squared times 4, and that gives us 4x squared, and see which factors of 4x squared are going to combine to be negative 5x. Now, since 4x squared is positive, I know that both of these are going to have to be the same. They're going to have the same sign. And since negative 5x is negative, I know they're both going to have to be negative. So that one's actually pretty easy. It's negative 4x and negative x or negative 1x. So I'll fill in those boxes. Negative x, negative 4x. And then we just we look at our little grid there and find the greatest common factor of each row and each column. So the greatest common factor of the top row is x, bottom row is 4, the left column is x, and the right column is 1. And then we'll set up our two parentheses. Right, I'll do it right under here, and I'll do it in purple, whatever. Purple's cool. So I have x, 4, x, 1. And this is, again, the only tricky one in this case where I have to look at the sign and say, the second sign is positive, so it tells me that in between my parentheses, both signs will be the same. And the first one is negative, so they're both going to be minus. So I have x minus 4 times x minus 1 equals property. I like to shake it up. Whatever. Judge me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tee off. I'll do it over here. I'll tee off, and on one side of my t, I'm going to write x minus 4 equals 0. And remember, I have to do that because one of the factors has to be equivalent to 0 for it to multiply to 0. And then I have x minus 1 equals 0. And I'll solve both of those equations individually. So add 4, and I have x equals 4 is one solution. And I'll add 1, and I have x equals 1. And I'm going to leave you to go ahead and check to make sure those solutions work. The one thing I do want to point out, because I've seen lots and lots and lots of people make this mistake, when you check a solution, you only plug in that solution one at a time. So you would say, if you want to check x equals 4, then you would write f of 4 equals 4 squared minus 5 times 4. You don't switch and put a 1 in here for some reason. You only check one solution at a time. And then plus 4, and that should be equal to 0. And then you check the solution with for x equals 1. So then after you're done with that, I want you to just try these two practice problems. The solutions are up on Blackboard, and you let me know if you need any help at all.